Hello, crafty friends. My name is Jessica, and welcome back to my channel. Today we have color blend number 13 in the Positively Saturated Ink line with Simon Says Stamp. For this trio, we are using trio number 27, which is Butter, Zest, and Honey. Now, I can't talk about ink blending without talking about my favorite paper. I use the 130-pound Simon Says Stamp ultra smooth white cardstock. This is my absolute favorite for ink blending. But if you have a preferred paper that, as long as it has a smooth surface, you could use that just as easily as this. There's Not Your Mama's cardstock, Hammer Mill, the Bristol Smooth. All of them are great for ink blending because they have a smooth surface. So we're getting started here with Butter, Zest, and Honey. Like I said, this is trio number 27 with Simon Says Stamp. This is the newest yellow. They only have 2 trios of yellow, and this is the most recent one that was released. Now, my favorite color out of these 3 is definitely Butter because it definitely meets expectations. It is a very beautiful butter yellow when it dries back. Now, I do have a comparison at the end of the video with the original yellow ink trio panel, so be sure to stick around for that. I compare the colors to show you how they compare and how they are different. So that's our first ink panel, Butter, Zest, and Honey. And we're going to do a quick clean and move into Paprika, Cantaloupe, and Butter. This is a really fun kind of autumn blend. I know we're just hitting spring, but I really loved the way that these colors came together. Like I mentioned earlier, I think Butter is my favorite because it's the truest buttery yellow that when you think about it, this is the color. I absolutely love the way that it is pairing with Cantaloupe. They're very similar in the saturation level. Cantaloupe is one of our lighter colors in the series, and so is Butter. But these are also analogous colors, and so what that means is that they're next to each other on the color wheel. They're also in the warm family. Those are some tips when you're ink blending. If you want to have a really cohesive blend, you're going to want to focus on analogous and are they warmed colors or cool colors. Now you can jump over those lines as far as warm and cool as long as they're analogous and still get a very cohesive feeling. Now, love this blend. Absolutely love it. That paprika color is so great. But like I said, it's going to tend to lean towards fall. And I know I'm anxious for spring. I think a lot of us are, but I really wanted to pair this yellow with something a little bit different. We do have some brighter trios that are going to be coming here later in the video. But when I look at this, I see candy corn and not traditional candy corn. I know there's another candy corn on the market that has a darker red base. And so this is what made me think of that. Another really great thing about these inks is they dry back. So right now you're viewing it just after I ink blended it, and it looks a little bit splotchy, mostly in that paprika cantaloupe range. But these are going to dry back and they're going to smooth, and you'll see that at the end. I apologize, we did miss that, but we're going to move into Zest, Fairway, and Pine. This is a really fun, bright spring color. I know I said I was going to bring one to the table, and this is definitely it. Zest is definitely a zesty yellow, super fun, and I love the color that it comes into with Fairway. So we've talked about paper, we've talked about analogous color wheel theories. Let's talk about how to hold your brushes. As you can see, I tend to hold my brushes at the head of the brush versus the handle. And I do this for a reason. One, I tend to be really heavy-handed. And so when you're coming into your ink blending, you want to be sure that you come in really light. And so this is the way that I have found to come into an ink panel not so heavy-handed and allow me to ease up on my pressure. Another reason is I've snapped a brush. It was not a Simon Says Stamp brush. It was another line, but I was pushing very, very hard on my handle because I am so heavy-handed and it snapped. So here we have Zest, Fairway, and Pine. I think this is my favorite panel. It definitely leans towards a masculine feel, but I love, love, love it. I think it would look really great with some silver die cuts, white die cuts, ink splattering it, doing some water splatter. I think it would tend to lead towards a masculine, maybe birthday card. Now we're doing our last panel, and this is Honey, Royal, and Amethyst. We're going to get some really fun additional colors. That's another fun thing about ink blending is these previous panels, you only see 3 colors, but this one, we're actually going to get 5. So when we're blending primaries, you're going to get a secondary color in between. So Honey and Royal is going to give us a really fun, bright, vibrant green. You're going to see that here in a minute. And then Royal and Amethyst just give us another purpley blue in between. While they're not primaries, Royal is. Amethyst is a secondary color, but because they're analogous on the color wheel, we are getting that additional color. A fun tip about these inks that I haven't mentioned in a while, and I previously mentioned it, is they are water reactive. And so if you're new, what that means is that they react when splattered with water or brushed with water. When you use water in different methods, such as either just putting it on with a paintbrush or splattering it, it lifts the ink and you get a ghosting of the previous color underneath. And that's really fun and creates really great dimension when you splatter these backgrounds, and it creates almost bubble-like or water droplets. It's really, really fun. It's a great way to hide imperfections if you're struggling a little bit with your blending and maybe you have some brush strokes or foam strokes. So it's really a great technique for that. So this is Honey, Royal, and Amethyst. Like I said, you can see that secondary color there in between Honey and Royal, and a little bit of another color in between Royal and Amethyst. So now we're going to do a quick clean. I'm going to go ahead and dry these off camera. I prefer to let my ink panels dry back naturally, but in the sake of video time, I did go ahead and put the heat to them for a few minutes. So as you can see with that paprika color, mostly how beautifully it dried back. So this is Butter, Zest, and Honey. We're going to go ahead and grab the other trio and compare them. So the panel I just brought in is Lemonade, Sunbeam, and Citrine. And it's really hard to see on camera, but hopefully here on the next screen, you will see that Butter and Lemonade are definitely different. Butter has a more warm tone to it. Lemonade's a little more brighter. Hopefully this is a good shot. But you can see while they look pretty similar, they're definitely different in person. They're also going to pull different colors. So Butter, Zest, and Honey are definitely pulling more warm and going to pair better with warmer colors, where you're probably going to find that Lemonade, Sunbeam, and Citrine are going to pair better with cooler colors. So we just missed Paprika, Cantaloupe, and Butter. This is Zest, Fairway, and Pine. I think this is my favorite from the 4 panels for today. And we're going to finish it off with Honey, Royal, and Amethyst. And that's going to be the video for today. Thank you for joining me. I have all of the supplies and colors linked below using affiliate links. And I just want to let you know I appreciate you being here, and take care.